It's Golgari time. What's up, Planeswalker Sterix6, back with some more Magic the Gathering Arena. I do, of course, hope you go to flipsidegaming.com and use promo code 6 for 10% off on orders over $10. It's a good deal, and it helps support the show, and it'll enter you in to win one of 3 sweet Richard Kane Ferguson playmats. Why am I doing it like this? You might ask, just like putting up pictures from OBS. It's because I'm a scrublord who's not a professional at all, but thanks for watching anyway. Today, we are playing Cordyceps. This is Golgari Zombies. As I said, I'm going to be exploring several different zombie routes. This is kind of the version that I played in RNA Standard, because Molderhulk is great, and so is Underrealm Lich. Speaking of Liches, we got a new one in Storrev. She is pretty cool. She's been decent so far. I only have her as a 2 of, because it was really hard to fit things in here. My previous version did have 25 creatures, and I tried to emulate that as much as possible. I'm at 26, because I wanted to add another one for Molderhulk. But the reason it's so hard is because, in addition to wanting to play Storrev, we still want to play Lilianas, and we want to play the new Liliana. There's essentially just a lot of things we want to do. I initially had this deck at 23 lands. You can try that. Glowspore Shaman helps, but I just felt uncomfortable having 6 drops that I wanted to cast consistently and didn't have the sufficient lands for it. So without further ado, we're going to get into the deck. We are only running 4 1-drops in the form of Stitch Supply for 1-drop creatures. This is great for this deck, because in this deck, what we really want to be doing is dumping things in our yard and getting them back, getting value out of the things in our graveyard. So Stitch Supplier is fantastic in this deck, whereas it might not be good in maybe the Rakdos version of zombies that I'll explore later. So this is a very helpful card. It essentially mills 6 of your cards overall in its lifespan, or unlifespan? Sure, whatever. We're running 3 Duress. This initially was not in the deck. Initially I had Liliana's Triumph. Yeah, I had Liliana's Triumph. Then I moved over to, not Abrupt Decay, Assassin's Trophy, geez. And then I decided to move back to Duress. And the reason for this essentially is, in Best of 1, Duress is going to hit pretty much every deck, right? And instead of having something that can maybe react to things, Duress is just a nice proactive response against a lot of the field. We're running 3 Eternal Taskmasters. This is, in my opinion, the best 2-drop for this version of the deck, because of the fact that it allows you to get things back from your graveyard at a really reasonable cost, honestly. The fact that it's a 2/3 means that it can survive attacking pretty well. It also means that it doesn't die to shocks, doesn't die to moment of cravings, which is always nice. It is on the less aggressive side, but this, as you can probably tell by the fact that we're only running 4 1-drops, is not an aggressive zombie deck. I don't know where the music is. Whatever. But it is a nice way to get those heavy hitters back if they are in the graveyard. What's really nice is that you can essentially chain these things. So you can, I just realized they have chains. Awkward. You can use Eternal Taskmaster to get Storrev, and she can get a Planeswalker like Liliana, and then she can -3, and you can play a bunch of creatures. It's great. We're playing 4 Glowspore Shamans. This is not a zombie, which makes me very sad. I really wish this was like an elf zombie shaman. Like, maybe it's too many creature types, but still, it's sad. It saddens me that this is not a zombie. But it's very helpful in what we want to do. We are getting to dump the top 3. Fantastic. And if we really need a land, we can go ahead and get that on top with the Glowspore Shaman. And this does lead to you being able to keep otherwise unkeepable hands. So you can have, 2 lands and a couple Glowspore Shamans, and that's a keepable hand. It's risky to keep on 2 lands with 1 Glowspore Shaman, but meh. Other than that, it is a very helpful blocker because of the fact that it has 3 power, so it can trade up relatively easily. The 1 toughness does hurt a bit because you die to Chain Whirler, it dies to the 1 Ping Monkey Fanatical Firebrand, so that's unfortunate, but hey, it does what we need. 4 Midnight Reapers and 4 Death Barons. If I were to trim down, I'd probably trim down one of my Midnight Reapers in order to have like some sort of removal in the deck, but meh, Midnight Reaper is great because it draws us cards when our stuff dies, and we don't mind if our stuff dies because we just get it back. It's great. It's also a zombie. Cool. 4 Death Barons. It makes our creatures matter in combat, which is great. It gives our zombies +1/+1 in Death Touch. Unfortunately, she does not get Death Touch or +1/+1. But meh. Death Baron is fantastic in multiples because then you have just a decent-sized army. You can get them out nicely with Liliana's -3. It's very, very helpful. Good card. If you're playing a tribal deck, you should probably play Lords. 2 Storrev. This card is pretty decent. It's a 4-mana 5/4, which is nice. She has Trample, which is also nice because it allows her ability to be more likely to happen. And what's really nice is that Storrev with Death Baron on board means that only 1 damage, like 1 assignment of damage, is lethal to any creature. So even if you get like blocked by a lot of things, is go kill you, and deal as maximum damage as you can to the Planeswalker. Obviously, if they block 5 of the damage anyway, it's whatever. But this allows you to do maximum damage to a Planeswalker if you are going to get blocked by some amount. That said, you get to attack if you deal damage to a player or Planeswalker, which is very helpful because of the fact that sometimes you need to deal with Planeswalkers in this format. You're going to be able to get a creature or Planeswalker from your graveyard back into your hand, as long as it wasn't put there this combat. The Planeswalker typically not going to die during your combat. I cannot think of one right now that would do that, but it's to make sure that you can't do like weird shenanigans, I assume, where you are getting things back from this combat and like doing shenanigans, whatever. But very helpful card. I used this to great effect to get back, I believe it was a Liliana. Then I played the Liliana. I was able to minus it to get a lot more things back. It's very helpful. This Liliana. Speaking of this Liliana, it's a 4-mana Liliana. 4 loyalty, fantastic. 2 of them. The +1 is very helpful as a life gain tool against red, or aggro, I should say, as a life drain tool against more control-y style decks. The -2 is decent against Thief of Sanity and aggro decks. That's pretty much it. And the -3 is fantastic. The -3, if you're like flooding out, is perfect because you could just play all of these things from your graveyard since you're going to have a ton in there. Or it's just a card that you can, -3, even if you only have like 2 mana, you can get a Molderhulk back. This Molderhulk can put a Memorial to Folly into play, and then you can start chaining things like that. It's very, very helpful Planeswalker to have. She's no Death's Majesty, but I can't wait until Death's Majesty comes back to Arena. If it doesn't come back to Arena, we riot, for sure. And then 2 Vraska's Contempt. I need removal in here somewhere, and I think Contempt is probably the best because it gets rid of creatures or Planeswalkers. Like, it also gains life. There's definitely an argument to be made to play Assassin's Trophy instead. There's an argument for Liliana's Triumph, Ob's Cruelty. Like, I'm going to talk about all of those in the sideboard after the videos, or after the gameplay. But I settled on Vraska's Contempt because I feel like it's the best for what we want. I'm certain that if you wanted to make this deck better, it would involve somehow putting in more actual removal. I just don't know how to do that and still maximize your creature value. 2 Underrealm Lich. I had this at 1, sharing with Bantu for a bit. Then I quickly realized Bantu, not as great as Underrealm Lich in this deck. Underrealm Lich is so great not only because it allows you to select what card you want to draw, but also because it is filling your bin at the same time. Additionally, this is something that, sure, Bantu can come back, but Underrealm Lich can't die via normal means. Obviously, you can still exile it, but you can just pay 4 life and tap it, and it becomes indestructible, and that's nice. But yeah, you're able to select whatever card you draw, and it's not just on your draw for turn, so Midnight Reaper draws with this really nicely. It's just a fantastic card, in my opinion. Possibly one of the weaker cards, but for what it's worth, it also makes it so you can't mill out. So it's like that weird secret tech against the random people who are playing mill right now, and there's a decent number of them for some reason. 2 fine Finalities. I really wanted this to be a 3. There's no room in these decks. It returns creatures. It gets your best creatures back to your hand, which is fantastic, and it acts as a board wipe, which is also incredibly fantastic. As long as you're able to just use, if you know that you're on against an aggro deck, then you know that you're essentially the control deck in that situation. So what you essentially are going to do is you're going to use all of your creatures to make sure you don't die, and hope to get up to that finality point where you can just wipe their board and start recovering from there. Liliana, Dreadhorde General. Holy crap, I can't speak words. Where's my music? I'm just like sitting here with no... There we go. I just refreshed it so I could have music. Liliana, Dreadhorde General is fantastic. Similar to Midnight Reaper, we get to draw cards whenever our stuff dies. It counts tokens as well, but I don't think... Yeah, we don't make any tokens in this deck, so who cares? +1, make a zombie. Cool. -4, each player sacrifices 2 creatures. I don't care if I sacrifice my creatures because I plan on getting them back. -9, you should win, but I doubt you're going to get to -9 because usually your opponents will be screwed by then. Then 3 Molderhulks. This was at 2. And this card is just still so awesome to play that I had to put it back at 3. It's so good in conjunction with Memorial to Folly. We're putting so much garbage in our graveyard that this spell is going to cost 4, 3, and 2 mana consistently, well, relatively consistently, and you're going to be able to do a loop with Memorial to Folly, which says sacrifice it, return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. You go ahead and sack this, get this in your hand, play this, get this back into play. It's a cool little loop as long as Molderhulk does not get exiled. This is our mana base. Literally everything in our deck is black and only some of them are green, and none of them are double green. So I think 5 forests is where I am, and it has been totally fine. So we're going to hop into some games. I know this one took a little bit longer than I would like, but still. I've been playing it in ranked, and I've kind of been like lose, win, lose, win. So it's not amazing in ranked, but I wanted to play in ranked because I just wanted to play in ranked, essentially. I wanted to see how the deck does against... Really? Shit, I played against Manbear already. Was he the one playing elves? Fuck, I hope not. This is a bad hand. Well, maybe not. Because I have turn 2, turn 3. I'll keep this, because we don't have very many 1-drops. I don't remember if this opponent was the one playing elves. I got completely destroyed by elves. Because they had the nut. Oh no, it's mono black. Fuck. This was a black Death Touch based control deck. And they had like Eldest Reborns and stuff. I'm stupid, this is the Grixis deck. This is the Grixis deck. I'm just gonna play stuff, I guess. The thing about Manbear Pig's Grixis deck is that they don't have the requisite lands. Yeah. So I am going to just play this, play a Death Baron. You know what, that was probably a mistake. I probably should have played a Minute Reaper. Like, this pushes more damage, but it's just incorrect, I think. But yeah, so I actually won against Manbear Pig in the practice games. It was like, he's like control mid-range, so he also played things like Words Are Hard, and I'm not very smart. No, he played things like Thief Sanity as well. This might get countered with an Ionize. Could kill something I had in response. Kills my Death Baron. That makes sense. I could have attacked first, but... I just wanted my Death Baron to dance. But yeah, I mean, that's the nice thing, right? Like, as long as my Taskmaster stays alive, I can just put the Death Baron back into my hand. Thought Erasure, you're going to take one of my Glowspore Shamans? Oh no! So the plan is probably Glowspore Shaman, see if anything awesome gets into my hand, and then play that. I might as well play this. Don't really have a reason to play this here. And the reason I'm doing this first is to put 3 more potential creatures in there that I can get back. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to decline that, obviously. I have plenty of mana. Going to go ahead and attack. Going to target my Death Baron. And the nice thing is I can just do this every turn. Sure, moment of craving that. I get to draw a card, which is a Molderhulk. It's on 5, which is unfortunate, but yes, I would like to pay 2, or 3. No, it's on 6. But what's really nice is that if my opponent does have another discard card, then they have to decide which of these 2 to force me to discard. Oh, that's rude. How dare you? Pretty easy attack in, I think. Duress, you hit nothing. You get to see what I have, but you hit nothing. So I could Molderhulk. I'm definitely going to attack. My opponent can cast this from me, but it's very good. Yeah, I think my opponent is on Grixis Midrange, not necessarily Grixis Control. I'm fairly certain they do have Vraska's Contempt, which I would hate for this to get contempted. 1, 2... No, they 3, so I'd only have 2 mana to... I could play another Taskmaster. I don't hate that idea. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Sure. Maybe I should actually take Glowspore Shaman. I think I should actually take Glowspore Shaman to dump more creatures into my bin. And I can also just get back my Memorial Folly if I need to. I mean, I might as well. I have 2 good cards in my hand. Yeah, I don't know. That could have been a mistake. Not sure. Opponent only has 3 cards. Thought Erasure, sure. I assume he's going to take my Hulk, yep. But luckily, I have Memorial Folly, and I can get him back. Sure. So he has a blocker, but I do have 6. I still have some decent power on board, which is another reason I really do like Glowspore Shaman here. I'm going to go and do this. Unfortunately, Death Baron doesn't do anything for my Glowspore Shamans, which makes me sad. I'm kind of surprised at the lack of blocking there. And the reason I play this out, and I'm fine with it, is because even my opponent does have a board wipe, I can more Folly my Molderhulk. Shit. Well, I do think the correct decision... Oh, fudge. I hope my opponent doesn't have a negate here. I bet they do. So we're going to target probably the Underrealm Lich and the Molderhulk. Well, Molderhulk is actually not great here. I have enough mana, I think I'm going to do that. Oh, okay, that's pretty fine then. Go ahead and play this. Play out my Underrealm Lich. So unless this gets exiled, I'm fine. I easily pay life for this. Opponent is at 8. They don't have any creatures in the graveyard, so I don't actually care. I'm honestly kind of... Fudge off, please. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't block with this. Oh, right, never mind. That was still in their hand. Well, I'm glad I played this one. That's end of combat. My turn. So I can get Decklist. I think it's actually better for me to get Stitcher Supplier to dump more things into my yard. My opponent's still 2 cards away from being able to cast 5? Yeah. From being able to flip their bullets, I should say. I'm not able to play it this turn, am I? I have 7. This would make it 6, so this would cost 3? No, I would not be able to, so I'm going to do this end of turn then. Am I going to attack with Underrealm Lich? I think I am. No, I'm not. No, because then they can Hostage Taker. No, so I could have attacked there. They probably would have blocked with Hostage Taker, and then they would have been able to get it back with Eternal Taskmaster. I assume this is Contempt. No, with the Devil, I will easily pay life for that. That's interesting. My opponent trying to kill me? I mean, I guess. I get to choose the card that I draw. I mean, I guess this is a counterspell. Otherwise, I'm very confused by this. Nope, that was a weird attack in my opinion. Gonna go ahead and start the chain again. Get a Folly. Attack in. Put you to need in life. Okay, I don't know. Bantu? Sure, Bantu is fine. I assume you're not going to sack any of your creatures. Really? Because if they sack a creature, I can still get removal. I don't have a lot, but I could get it. What? How is that ever the winning move? You cut yourself back so far, and I get to choose what I draw every turn. What? I probably should have played Storrev instead. So two 6/6s and a 4/3. Opponent has 4 cards available, but at present they only have 4 mana. I feel like I just pass. Well, no, I can attack with a Molderhulk. I might as well, right? If I attack with a Molderhulk, this has Menace. So I need to double block that. I think I do present lethal to them. Because even if they block with the Hostage Taker and want to like Taskmaster or something, they need to like do things. So they literally have to block this to survive. Which takes me off of a potential lethal here. Very strange. Our first game of practice was an Azorius aggro deck. They had the nut. I died real hard. Sure, I'm incredibly fine with this. I'll let you have your Bantu deck, because it's a very slow line. Yeah, that's fine. I assume my opponent has a 5th land. Yep. Alright, steal my Storrev, that's fine. But the thing is, unless you have a removal spell, if I draw a removal spell, you're dead. You're incredibly dead. You gonna kill my Molderhulk? No? That's very strange. But yeah, my Azorius aggro opponent had a turn 1, turn 2, a turn 3 had multiple cards. I would like you to die, please. I'm gonna yeet you to death. Can I dab on him? Dab on him. I was really close against the Azorius aggro deck though. I was 1 turn away from being able to cast Finality. I didn't play my 6th card, my 6th land. Like I didn't even get to turn 6, which is unfortunate, but you know it happens against super aggro decks like that. The second game was against Mono Black Death Touch, which for some reason I thought that was. It double Eldritch Reborn, and unfortunately I was not able to come back from that because they had discard as well. So like my hand was eviscerated. This hand is probably not good enough, especially since I'm going second. My opponent mulliganed. It makes me feel safer about mulliganing. This hand is actual trash. Fuck off. This hand's okay, I suppose. That was unfortunate. I don't even think I want this on top. So I have this potentially. Oh god. Alright, well, this has to be a terrible matchup for us. I'm gonna go and play this tapped, because I can play this untap, play this, turn 3, possibly turn 4 if I have to. Vanguard, sure. Ugh. Third game was against the Grixis Midrange control deck that I just won against. Fourth game was against Elves. They had the nut. They went turn 1 Llanowar Elf into turn 2 Marin. I'll decline. Because I have another one. Marwyn? Yeah. I killed their Marwyn. And then they went turn 3. Because they got a land from my Assassin's Trophy. They were able, I believe, to play a Pelt Collector into Elvish Clangcaller. And then they had enough land the following turn to play, like, another Elvish Clangcaller and hold one up or something. It was nonsense. I'll play another Glowspore Shaman. They're only on 6 and they have 2 cards left, so I think Glowspore Shaman to make sure I can get my Storrev is actually a good idea here. What are we milling? Storrev into death, whatever. Seems decent. Now we'll get Overgrown Tomb. Should be okay. No attacks. Gotta stave for the blocks. The last game was against Esper Control, and I actually was able to destroy them. I think they were stuck on 4 or 5 lands. I don't remember which, but they used almost every card in their hand. This is bad, frankly. There's another Azorius aggro deck. This good old everyone playing net decks. I don't know if you're trying to be cool. What's really nice though, Storrev is she's a decent size. She's a decent size, but I don't have enough mana for Liliana. So she can block this one. They're at what, 8? No attacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so they can play another thing. They have Ascension, and it looks like they can. Is it another Loxodon? Oh, cool. It's Tribunal. So they get Ascension and they get rid of my Storrev. I hate this deck so much. When I can double block a creature, I think I kind of have to. I lose both of my creatures, but like, just chumping doesn't get me. Oh, I died. I don't care. I was probably going to concede that match anyway. I fucking hate this deck. I'm not kidding when I say I would rather play against mono red. Way down here is mono white, or oh sorry, it's mono white essentially. I don't know what's the opposite of where I am right now. Somewhere in West Asia, somewhere in the Himalayas area. I don't know. In the other side of the planet, mono blue. I hate mono blue. This is a keep. And yes, I kept essentially because of Duress. What I don't know if I played against him today. I mean, for what it's worth, I am playing on rank ladder. So, you know, my opponents are going to be skewed more towards the good decks and not the fun decks. I feel like honestly, you're going to see most of the good decks in gold and plat. Probably diamond as well, but only for people who are really trying to push for mythic. I think it's like Hearthstone as well, whereas once you get to mythic, you're just like, I'm going to play fun decks. Okay, I'm screwed. Someone thought I was drinking milk. It's not a milk carton. It's a water bottle. I feel like I just concede this matchup. Like, I don't think I can win this. They play this and this next turn. The following turn they play this. They gain some life. This gets huge. Yeah, I don't know if I can even win this. I feel like it's better to concede and play another game, but I don't know. Because I do want to try and get back to the, like, 35-ish minute videos. Oh, they decided to play Swordtooth instead. I guess they can still play... But why didn't... What? I'm so incredibly confused. What? The 2-life is meaningless. You have a Wild Growth Walker. Why not play the Elf? I guess they didn't know what I was playing? I guess that makes sense. Alright, well, their hand is, like, nothing, but... Doesn't really matter when they're probably going to get Ascension, right? They can play another land? Am I dumb? Did I miscount their lands? I went first. No, they should have another land to play. Right? I went first. I got my third land. So they should be on their third land. Yeah. Okay. I was like, why would you play it? Now we can attack with a 5/5. Yay! Next turn, I have Deathbaron, which is okay. Ow. Point is down to 1 card. You know, so that's actually pretty decent because it allows me to pretty surely get to this the following turn, which is another blocker, frankly. So really it just depends on if they just get their... Oh, it's this deck! I assume I lose now. I have no way of dealing with that in the main deck. What are you doing? Okay, cast that for 0. Yep. All right, I don't need to deal with this. I know they could fizzle. I'm not going to sit here and let them do that when I can just play something else. Let's hop into normal play and see if we can get matched up against another person who doesn't want to be a zombie. Someone also said that my beard makes me look bigger than I am. I am a skinny man. I'm a zombie. Sure. It's fine. Also, yes, I am playing these sleeves and this avatar in this specific deck to... Okay. That thief is, I guess, not going to be annoying. I have Vraska's Contempt. So I guess I don't really care about me losing my own stuff, so I'd rather just them not have a Planeswalker. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Words are incredibly hard and difficult to use. But yeah, someone was like, your beard makes you look boof, I think is what they said. I was like, I'm not boof. Also, an update on the... this draws me a card. But do I want it to just draw me a card? I mean, this also allows me to potentially get some good stuff in from Finality. Because next time I'm definitely contempting the thief. So yeah, I think this is honestly better. It doesn't draw me a card, but it eats removal potentially. I assume my opponent is gonna... Yeah. So it eats removal. It dumps stuff in my bin. or not. I don't need this. Yeah, so an A removal in allowed me to get Taskmaster, I suppose. You're supposed to play Thief Standing on this turn. What the fuck? Okay. That's fine. So, I'm just gonna play Storrev now. Doesn't die to Ritual of Soot. Could have Lava Coil. You have Lava Coil! Don't you fucking dare. Don't you dare. Ugh. Now we just go into practice and we play against Grixis Control. Hey, I play Grixis Control too, but I keep that shit up in ranked, okay? I keep that shit up in ranked. What the fuck? I'm gonna attack first. Thanks. I think I just Contempt this now. I don't think there's a reason not to. Storrev is cool. She's so awesome. No! What have you done? That's fine. If they wipe my board here with Ritual of Soot, I'm still drawing cards. So, it's fine. Some of them are going to be lands for sure. Yep. But I have another Eternal, so I can get my Mana Reaper back. Hopefully. Ooh! I don't have a Memorial Folly in my graveyard. My opponent might have another... Things I don't want to get Duressed. Or I don't want to get Thought Erasered. My opponent's stuck on 4, which is fantastic. Another issue is top decking a Nicol Bolas. Like, if they top deck a Bolas, then, and I only have Molderhulk in the hand, then I'm screwed. This is a better clock, technically, as well, so I'll do that. Yeah, I don't know, maybe 24 lands is a bit much. Hostage Taker. Well, you're not going to be able to cast it for a while, so that's nice. Alright, fine, I'll play both of these. Oh, alright, I'll play all of these. Obviously, I get screwed over by a board wipe here, but... I mean, I guess I'm not going to be attacking with Decklist next turn anyway. So it's... Do I hedge that they have a board wipe, or do I hedge that they have another Thought Eraser? Well, a Cryothanarium doesn't kill my Taskmaster. So, if they have that, I don't want to play into it. It's a risky play. I essentially just have to hedge one way or the other. Yes! Wait, why am I happy about that? I still got board wiped. Damn it. And now I'm drawing too many lands. Moral of the story, kids, don't try. Oh, right, gosh. The seven deadly sins result was surprising. We'll see what we draw.
Never seen water burn.
Why would you not kill my Devkarin? What? Okay. So you're saying there's a chance?
The etchings prove my immortality. Witness my power.
So I could play Supplier, Taskmaster, but I think the correct decision is Devkarin, attack his Angrath. Either he blocks and I get my Molderhulk back, or his Angrath gets to a point where he can't -3 me. And I also have a good block against Hostage Taker. Fantastic, that's totally fine with me. I lose nothing, I actually gain in this scenario. I can get a Memorial Folly back. Okay, we're in an okay position. We have the means to get value here. Opponent can kill one of my Decklist, totally fine. Sure.
Your crew for my freedom.
I can block with my Molderhulk.
Fair price.
Moment of craving. I can still block with my Molderhulk. Sure, you should have attacked.
Well, they aren't useful to me alive.
Interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and attack that there Angrath. Cool.
The fire's
We're
out.
still in this, boys. That's why you don't concede preemptively. Let's see. I'd have 4 mana left. I can place Storrev. I can place Storrev. I think what I would rather do is play this, use this end of turn just in case shenanigans occur. Really, the goal here is just to get her back up to 3. Ah, they did it for the surveil. I was like, what? I get so sidetracked. A lot of people said envy, which I was really surprised by. I'm like the least envious person. Like, I legit don't care what anyone else is doing. I only want to be my best. So yeah, I was a little surprised by that. Got a lot of pride as well. Pride is what most people think I am. Like, a lot of my friends will say that they think that I'm pride. I don't agree. I can see where they're coming from, but I just don't agree.
I value moral flexibility.
See, this is what we're doing here, all right? This is where we're at. It's the value train. The train don't stop for no one. Memorial Folly, don't need that. Woodland, play this. Boom, boom. What's good? Zombies for life. Bad boys for life. I would consider myself sloth. Someone said that they don't think I'm sloth because I do YouTube and grad school. I'm still like a fucking lazy bum, though. Why would you kill that? I guess they were dead either way. So this deck seems decent against Grixis. It looks like the games I won were all against Control, except for the mono black Control, which makes sense because this is an incredibly grindy deck, right? It doesn't start off really well, but it really gets there. So I think what you want to do with this, if you're trying to make it better, is to modify it in such a way that you still have that nice late game, but you also have the ability to have a better start early game. I don't know exactly how you would do that, because your better start early game isn't to fight the Control deck, so you don't need to be more aggressive. You just need to stymie the aggression from your aggressive opponents. So you probably are going to need something like Moment of Craving, which I will get into right now. So we're going to go here to the sideboard. So these are some of the things that I was thinking of that didn't actually make the cut. So Diagraph Ghoul, as I said, I don't think this deck is trying to be aggressive. I think this is a kind of really grindy deck that you want to just be there in the end. And I think that having a 1-mana 2/2 isn't actually very good here. Good in other places, not here. I should also mention Gutterbones. Once again, the fact that Gutterbones isn't a zombie is more important here because of the fact that we're playing the 2-mana Liliana and we aren't as aggressive. Obviously, you can get it back relatively easily, but paying that much mana to get back something like that is a lot less valuable than using Eternal Taskmaster or something like that. So that's why I didn't have that. Aid the Fallen actually seems like a pretty decent card. If we're running more Lilianas, right? If we're running maybe 3 of the 4-mana one and then 2 of the 6-mana one, since we are milling so many cards into our yard, this is very often just a draw 2 of what you want to get, and it allows you to get back your Planeswalkers, whereas Finality only gets creatures. That said, since we are running a relatively low count, and this doesn't have the board wipe potential, I do think Finality is just better. Dreadhorde Invasion. It's not a creature, so it doesn't help Molderhulk. That's legit the reason. Graveyard Marshal. It exiles the creatures from my graveyard. I don't want to do that. I want to get them back. Lazarus Reaver. I actually think this might be important against those early game strategies. I think that the thing is, I don't know how to put it in. Are you going to do like a 3-3-3 split with the Taskmaster, Shaman, and this? Are you going to maybe do a 2-2-4 where Lazarus Reaver is the most important because of the fact that you really need the stabilization early on? I don't know. I do think that is a reasonable choice specifically for those aggressive matchups where you have these blockers to buy you a bit more time. But otherwise, it's just an okay card. It is nice that it is a creature by itself, so it does still help things with like Molderhulk and stuff when it's put in the yard, but I'm not sure how exactly to implement it here. Liliana's Triumph, as I said, I tried to play with it. It's just not as strong right now because of so many decks going super wide. Obviously, some decks, like the mid-range decks, are playing 1 or 2 creatures a turn, but I faced, like, every creature deck I faced was a go-wide deck. So this just wasn't helpful at all. Moment of Craving is just another good option against aggro decks. Same as Cast Down. Cast Down can be used better for mid-range decks as well, but if you are trying to deal with aggressive decks, Moment of Craving is what you're looking for. Elder Spell is not good. If you run up against a lot of Planeswalkers, play it, but don't. Assassin's Trophy. This card just is... This card was so hyped at launch. Even I was like, this is insane. It's not good. It's just, unless you're able to, like, really beat your opponent before that extra land can matter, it's bad as early game removal. Late game removal is fine, but for late game removal, you'd rather just have something better. I don't know. Obstacle T is good. It's good for mid-range decks. I don't think we really have a problem with mid-range decks, though. Joseph S, we have too much stuff in the 4-drop slot. Same with Death Sprout. I really like Death Sprout, but it doesn't fit in this deck. I think this is maybe something for, like, a some sort of weird, like, Sultai Reclamation deck. Yeah, I could see this in something like a Sultai Reclamation deck, but for this, Bantu. I did try Bantu. She was never great. I never, like, when I drew cards, I never wanted really to draw Bantu. Bantu is obviously fantastic if you are super flooded out, but usually you want to just you want to be able to have other things with your mana, so this is like a card that you have to play when you're behind for it to really matter, and if you're so far behind, then you're probably screwed. Ronus, I did consider for like 5 seconds, but Ronus doesn't really make sense for this deck. Menagerie, I like this card, but we're not running enough 1-drops to really get the most value out of it. Command the Dreadhorde. It's flavorful. It is not good. Yeah, I don't know. This is fun. I think that the mono black deck might be better for general zombies. I really do like the grindy version, especially Molderhulk. I really do love looping with this card. So I think if I end up working on a zombie deck more, it's probably going to be this one, but I will be getting Dimir zombies, Grixis zombies, Red-Black Rakdos zombies, Sultai. I'm going to try to make all of those over time. I got to play some memes too. Speaking of memes, actually real quick, you guys get to see kind of the things that I'm looking for soon. I'm trying to put together like a Commander Dreadhorde with like Gideon Sacrifice Gideon, you know, kind of a Super Friends style deck. There's no room for anything in this deck, and I have no idea how to deal with it. How many lands am I running? I'm running 25 lands because I kind of need to. But yeah, if you have any advice on this, feel free to give it. I'm also playing a Dabriel deck, a discard deck, Dabriel, that's Ice Ninja Monkey gave to me when we were streaming. It feels like it's missing something. No offense, Ice, but when I was playing it, it felt like it was missing something. So any of these, feel free to give your suggestions on, and I'll be playing those on the channel soonish. But yeah, I do, of course, hope you've enjoyed this. I'd like to thank my lovely patrons, especially Salamander, Croft, Zin, and Rexel for the continued support. If you'd like to join them in supporting the channel via Patreon, you can find links to that down in the description, or you can just hit that join button if you don't want to deal with Patreon. You essentially are a $5 patron, which is pretty cool. Words are hard in the Discord. Shoot. In the description, I almost said dashboard. My brain is broken. In the description, you will also find links to my Discord server where we chat and play games, as well as my Aetherhub account where I host all of my deck lists. I do, of course, hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, go ahead and tap that like button, add a subscription mana pool, get to come to the comment section down below, and pass the turn to end the video to some of your friends. Until next time, I'll be one. I don't know I'm talking like this. I'm going to die.